Our first reader tonight. It's a real treat this evening to introduce this evening's first reader, Jennafer Davia. I first came to Writer Studio probably 10 years ago because Jennafer suggested that I take Joel Hinman's Level 2 class, and I've been here ever since. Jen is a wonderful writer, friend, colleague, and editor. Her stories have been published in 34th Parallel, The Writer's Studio at 30, and Hanging Loose. Her work has been nominated for a Pushcart Prize, and she was named as a finalist in the Glimmer Train's Short Story Award for New Writers. She lives in Hastings-on-Hudson, where she's currently at work on a collection of short story, and she teaches Level 1 and 2 at the Writer's Studio. Welcome, Jen.
Thanks, Andrea. Thanks, Writer's Studio, and so happy to be reading with such great writers, Andrea, Nancy, Lucinda, and Christopher. So I'm going to read the beginning of a short story called Bobby. In the middle school hallway on the second floor, Bobby Gattone's hanging around. The two of us alone with no one else there. I know it by the time I slam my locker, squeeze the lock closed. Bobby's waiting for me. He's making a show of it, loitering with his large body curved. There's no choice. To get to English, I have to walk down the hallway past him. Maybe he won't say anything this time. Maybe if I cross my arms, he won't even notice me. Yeah, right. And maybe the lockers will turn into linebackers, rush at Bobby and smash him against the gray walls. What now? Hug myself in front of the silent lockers? Or stand straight as a soldier marching? Caitlin on display. Caitlin in a one-girl parade, proudly displaying her big tits, he says, right when I'm near him. He kind of whispers it, so it feels like it's something just between us. His lip is curled into a sneer. I want to say, fuck you, but I can't get the words out. I stare at him, topless, in the hallway, in both our minds. My breasts are these huge, heavy magnets I carry on my chest, pulling in losers like Bobby, no matter how hard I try to muffle their power under layers of t-shirts. He follows me into class. He's big, and for a second he's almost touching me. I hold my breath and scan the room. Someone may think we're together, but no one's even looking at us. Then he's gone, heading to the back toward the coat rack and the stupid kid seats. People don't know that Bobby waits for me. Even my friend Denise, who I sit with at the little table by the blackboard, has no idea. There's a quiz on Greek monsters, so she's nervous, scanning the other kids, reading charts, the clock. I take a last look at my notebook, even though I don't really need to. I've got all the info stored in my head, and now it's just a matter of letting it flood out onto the page. Ms. Soto yells, "Bobby!" She means stop. That's all anyone ever means when they say his name. I don't turn with the others to see what he's done. Nobody likes him, not students, not teachers. He always seems to be late, even when he's not. He's always standing when he should be sitting, never in his seat, never even pretending to be comfortable. He doesn't fit. Seems too big, like when we go back to the kindergarten now and try to sit on the chairs. That's how it is for Bobby. Legs bending out like spider legs, beefy and tall, hairy arms and long greasy black hair that always falls over his face. Ms. Soto serves us the quiz. The first question is, a monster with the head of a man and the body of a bull. The answer is Minotaur. I picture hooves kicking Bobby against the lockers. Then I forget about him. This is my world. Vocab and reading. Next to me, Denise looks jittery. Her pen skips over the short answer section to the multiple choice. When I see her doodling a unicorn in the margin of her test, I turn my paper just a little so she can copy. Thanks, Kat, Denise says when we're standing at our lockers. You saved my life. And she looks really grateful. When she says that, I feel so strong that I almost tell her about Bobby. But then I get distracted by her outfit. It's eclectic, not the regular same old. She's wearing a cool watch made out of cardboard and a leather ring that looks like a rose. Denise is tall and fashionable. She looks cut right out of the pages of 17, which she reads at night and on lunch break. No single part of her body calls attention to itself. So when she wears those accessories, everything is laid out, and it's like she's inviting you to look at her creation, exactly in the way that she wants. In social studies, where it's safe, at least for me, Bobby is getting chewed out. "Where's your notebook?" Mr. Mason asks. Bobby holds up his old-fashioned black and white marble notebook like he's barely got the energy to lift it. "I told you that you're supposed to have a spiral notebook," Mr. Mason says, looking furious, even though I don't know why he cares. Why can't Mr. Mason just get on with the class? Yesterday we started in on the Aztecs. He talked about how they had a well-organized society and amazing architecture, so I'm hoping today he'll say more. What else do these people know? Instead, he's wasting everybody's time on Bobby, which means that even class time is Bobby time. The back of the classroom where Bobby sits is dusty with cardboard file boxes and a coat rack that no one ever uses. No one goes there, not even to clean up. Let's not go there for Bobby. On the first day of school, Mr. Mason had made this big deal about everyone getting a spiral notebook, and even showed us what a spiral was. We're 8th graders, not kindergartners. We got it, spiral. Though I guess Bobby Gattone didn't get it. "I told you," Mr. Mason says now, working himself up, "to get a single subject spiral notebook." The whole class looks at Bobby. He mumbles that his father wouldn't buy him a spiral, said it was too expensive. Is that possible? I keep a soft focus so it looks like I couldn't care less, but all the while I take an inventory of Bobby's possessions: jeans, canvas sneakers, cheap backpack, and the marble-covered notebook. You can't really tell from his stuff, but I believe him about his father. Why would anyone make that up? Normally, I'd feel sorry for a kid like him, for his asshole dad, his stupid, cheap notebook, and for Mr. Mason's very long scolding. But when I think of the hallway and the other Bobby, the one who comes at me with his big body, and every time he does, I'm paralyzed. When I was in 3rd grade, a kid said something about my breasts, and I pushed him down to the asphalt. That boy skinned his knee and started to cry. Bobby's much bigger. There won't be any pushing him. "Damn it. Damn it, Bobby," Mr. Mason yells, and he throws a piece of chalk across the room. It hits the ground near Bobby's sneaker. After that, no one moves. The air is charged with Mason's fury. I've never seen a teacher lose it like this, and I guess no one else has either. Because we all sit looking down at our desks. We stay like that for a while as Mr. Mason stares off into space. Either he's not over it or he has no idea how to continue. Finally, he takes a piece of chalk and writes on the blackboard, "New History of the American Indian," pages 231 to 250. "Everyone get started on your homework," he says, and people reach into their bags for their history books. As I'm finding my page, Mr. Mason appears at my desk. "What do you think people thought of that?" he asks. I use my peripheral vision to see if anyone's looking at me. They all act busy doing homework, but I know they're tuned in to what's happening at my desk. Why is Mr. Mason asking me, of all people? I may be a good student who's totally into his class, one of the kids who follows his every word, a kid who gets it, how the Indians weren't savages, how sophisticated their cultures were, but doesn't he understand that I can't be seen talking to him? Plus, how do I know what everyone thinks? Am I supposed to be the voice of the class? And that's when I realize I'm angry. I'm angry that Mr. Mason wasted our time, that he brought Bobby into the classroom, that he didn't just ignore him and let me forget about him for 50 minutes. And I'm angry because I too want to yell, "Damn it, Bobby," and throw things. I want to slam Bobby into the wall, but I can't do it. I'm not strong enough. Mr. Mason's waiting for my answer. People probably thought it was pretty stupid, I say. Like he's one of my friends and I can just talk to him however. Mr. Mason nods. Either he agrees with me or he's finally realized that he's not supposed to be asking. When the bell rings, I'm the first one to the door because after getting yelled at, I'm guessing Bobby will be looking for me. Thank you.